I first recognized that I had a religious vocation or that God might be calling me to this kind of life when I was in 5th grade, reading a biography of Mother Teresa and realizing that she entered her community at the age of 18, pretty young. And at that moment, reading that biography, I remember thinking to myself, I can say yes as well to this call that's on my heart. I'm Sister Maria Benedicta Beat. My mom says I've been talking about being a sister ever since I was little, even though I don't remember that part. But I think there was always part of me that knew that I had those desires of my heart, and in that desire that I had really to give myself entirely to Him in that way. I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio. I'm the oldest of 4 children, and I was raised Catholic in a pretty devout Catholic family. So I grew up going to Mass every Sunday, receiving the sacraments pretty frequently with my family, and then learning about the faith from my parents as well, which was a really instrumental part of my childhood. Because then having the faith normalized, having it be something that I loved to participate in, I loved to go to Mass, and all of those things were elements of my life that really prepared the ground for when God did call me to religious life, and when I really started to recognize that He was calling me to religious life. Those were seeds that had been planted in my soul and in my heart, I think, that enabled me to say yes when He did finally ask me to be His bride. One of the scariest things before I entered religious life was just the uncertainty. And when you're doing something like entering religious life, or even I would imagine it's very similar when you're getting engaged or getting married, you don't know what your life's going to look like. You don't know the practicals, and you're giving yourself entirely up to another person in a way that requires a lot of surrender. And so growing in that trust that His will was what would make me happy and that He would lead me, even if I could only see one step in front of me, that surrender and growing in that surrender throughout my religious life, and as I continue even now to grow in that surrender, is something that's brought me immense joy and something that's brought me close to Christ in a really unique and beautiful way. Our profession liturgies, it's not just another Mass that's happening during the year. It's really, for the sisters making vows, it's their wedding day and it's their wedding Mass. The altar in a church is where the continual sacrifice of Christ on the cross, that's where it's made present every Mass. And through profession, we're being espoused not just to Christ, but especially to the crucified Christ. And there's a lot of literature and, old poetry in the church around religious profession that refers to the cross as the marriage bed of religious life. And so it's particularly fitting for us, I think, that that's where we sign our vows, is on this altar of sacrifice. And this place where Christ's Holocaust to the Lord occurred on the cross, and where our nuptial Holocaust, our marriage Holocaust through religious profession, is also occurring for us.